Welcome to the Byzantian Brewscast podcast, where we absolutely, definitely have access to our intro music at the moment. Honest, that wasn't an ad lib. Hello and welcome to the best podcast, the best, most prepared podcast of all time, with your hosts Chaotic Exag and Byzantian Dev. Hello.
You're the best podcast.
We're the best
Oh,
podcast. We're the only podcast as well, probably the only podcast with chest
That's why we're the
hair.
best.
It's not a very high bar. Anyway, hello to the internet. How have we been? How have we been this week? What have we been up to?
I've been sending a beast
You've been what?
rest. It's fun. Yeah. I've been upping the training for the run.
Oh, yes, the run, the big Birmingham run. Did you win?
Now I'm coming back down because they made me use the 15 mascot shoes, and that was never going to be. But it's fine. That's less effort with.
Yeah.
They would make this. That's going well. The actual run went fine for the most part.
Good.
It's easier than last year. It was colder, but I wasn't gassing at the 3K mark today. This was like the 6 kilometer mark in rather than.
Yeah, you got a bit.
That's good.
Significantly further. That's awesome.
Time though.
Yeah.
But just 1 minute quicker than last year.
Nice.
But with Hetty being a big costume, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Unlike last year, I didn't feel the need to collapse and meet done. So that was that. Must have conditioned a bit better this year.
Fantastic.
Like it. Lots of help people. Lots of support. Huge event. I've already brought my ticket for next year.
Super.
It's so put it if you do it after the early one. If you do it like in the first week, half, so
yeah,
might as well just, even if I don't do it for whatever reason, that's a lot less money. I'm happy with that. I will do it again in a heartbeat, but I am start needing to not quite powered down yet, to be honest. It's a little bit hyped up. Yeah. However, that was well worth it. Hopefully, the hospice loves it, and hopefully, if the app works, there were photos taken of me going round, so we can actually send them off to the events team. If not, they just didn't take any. But no, they took photos to see if they should load them or not. Yeah,
well,
it's
good.
It's been a fun one.
Well, it is a fun run for a reason.
Well, it's funny as the run wasn't fun. The feeling of actually doing the run was fun.
Yeah.
The run itself was actually more of a very deliberate walk. I just found wasn't going to kill me, and I just kept doing that for like an hour 43. The only thing I didn't like about it that much was that I was in the very last time slot for the runners. So like is the moment you get out of the start line, there's a weird like part of the run where there's not many people watching the runners go by.
Uh-huh.
So it was a little bit empty for a while. If it'd been the earlier slots, there'd have been more stuff going on.
Mm.
But that's just where they booked it, I guess.
Yeah.
Aside of that, not really many complaints. Got to I got to I don't really know these people, but I do. Last few times I've done it, I've bumped into people from UOB. Never even studied at UOB. Um, but just met this woman ever so briefly at last year's mascot race. She's friendly enough, so I've sort of it's sort of like meeting an acquaintance multiple times. It's getting quite funny. It's like okay, it's her again. So made a point to say hello to the UOB team, despite never
Mm.
studying there, knowing
Mm-hmm.
maybe one person there for like an hour. And
Nice.
when you're at an event with what 20,000 people, and that's just the
Yeah.
runners. It's once you know someone at all, it's like you might as well say hi.
Yeah, it's also just good to just keep up appearances and keep up those small lines of communicate because you never know when they'll be useful one day, or indeed just fun
I
in
doubt it
general.
will ever be useful. I just think it's funny that I bump into
Yeah.
people under that specific circumstance more than once.
Hmm.
Doesn't happen a lot. No, so that's
Uh,
been my week.
yeah. So my week has been fairly quiet, other than literally early today when me and my one of my church colleagues just took an impromptu trip to Chance Encounters for some dinner because he is also a bit of a gaming enthusiast. Although he plays a system called Saga, which I'm not too knowledgeable about, but
I do know of Saga. Is this the historical one?
yes.
I do know of this. I have an unpainted uh, warband's worth of Saracens, which I want to get
Oh.
country going at some point.
Yeah, he was
If
telling.
it's Middle Eastern and deserty, I have an
Hmm.
interest. Carry on
Yeah,
though.
he was telling me about a game he had last week or the week before, playing the Vikings, trying to use the Ragnarok strategy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and trying to get his opponent to waste his
Uh,
Saga dice ineffectually, so he could then get him in the last sort of battle of attrition kind of things. But it didn't quite. Apparently, his strategy was good. His rolls, however, were not.
that's the problems with the dice game.
Yeah, but he's looking to try and get hold of an Arab army so he can paint them up quite nicely. Because he doesn't yet have
Okay,
his own
fair enough.
army. He's just borrowing his mates at the moment. So I thought that was
Saga's
cool.
quite a good one, because it's got several. It's done in ages.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got Age of. Uh, the standard one is all. How would I put it? So the Viking era. So you got Vikings, Danes, Welsh, Angles, Saxons, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Then you got Age of Crusades, which is more your Saracens, Crusaders, and Normans as well. So it depends on what period you like, really.
Hmm.
Although the rules are the same for each
Yeah.
thing, so that's quite good.
It's pretty interesting. But yeah, I think his opponent was using the Danish army, I think.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I think he's also got his mates
See-
also got Normans and Anglo-Saxons or whatever which flavor they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just chatting about that. Just because he's aware of Wayland's Forge, but I don't think he knew about Chance Encounters. I was just like, hey, he offered to, I guess, have dinner. Go somewhere for dinner with me. Just colleague kind of chit
Okay.
chat thing. It's like, oh, I know this place called Chance Encounters. Do you know of it? It's like, no. It's, oh, you'll like it. You'll like it. But I
They have some
almost,
really of a reach.
yeah, I almost bought another set of Dice of Disappointment. Almost.
I, I like them. I think they're great.
But yeah, so that's
It's a
why I was a bit
game. What's
delayed
wrong with them?
today. But other than that,
No, don't worry about
it's
it.
been a quiet week. Although I did go to the Bandai Namco store, that was a lot of fun as well. I may have picked up
Oh, yes.
a Gundam that was extremely hard to build, and yet now that it's built,
Yeah,
I'm
it was a
thinking,
3-man job.
yeah. Now that I've built it, I'm thinking I want to get more of these now because they are really
Oh,
cool because
God.
they are all the detail of sort of a real grade Gundam but way smaller, so you can actually fit them on a little shelf rather than having to have a massive shelf with just two Gundams.
That's that, that's true.
And I'm sure that if
Something
I
doesn't take you.
brought it home with me and actually used my clippers and my actual tools, I could build it much easier.
Yeah, rather than Geek Retreat
Yeah.
before D&D
And
starts.
£6 for a gunpla really isn't that bad, actually. Granted, they
That's
are smaller,
pretty
but when
good.
you think about, like, even the real grade, normal size one's like £20. If all we want is a small one, £6 is actually kind of a bargain.
Fair enough.
Um,
Pardon me.
yeah, so that was my week. Also, we did D&D, which was a lot of fun. I got to be Heather again, and
It's it's. I am surprised by how planning heavy this campaign is getting.
yeah,
It's not by design.
it's usually the other way around. Many action, no planning.
Not complaining. It's just very funny.
Yeah.
This plan to be amazing. Well. Oh, there is one thing I did actually. I'd mentioned.
Hmm.
The day before the race was the mascot race, which was barely 50 meters, and there was just a load of photos. It was
Oh
really
wow.
perfect, perfect for hettying.
Hmm.
It was just all families and kids. It was all the junior and the mini races. So
Nice.
basically, the best time to put a mascot anywhere.
Hmm.
I loved it. Um, yeah,
So, on that note, I guess we move on to our tabletop book club section. What do we have this week?
I forgot to. Let me have a look. I've got. You know what? Give me a sec. Just go to my shelf.
Hokey cokey.
Aren't you? Ah, there we are. So, I took a trip down to Waylands and found a thing
Uh-huh.
ages ago. So this is based on a system I haven't really played, but just I love the idea of it. It's Call of Cthulhu, but they did a Dark Ages edition,
Ooh.
which is so unlike which is the Coast book where you would like need the other the other main book to actually understand half of it.
Uh-huh.
It's a self-contained book.
That is cool.
It's really nice of them, and it cost me like no more than 20 quid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's just I quite like my history, so anything Dark Ages is kind of like okay. This is what I found with a lot of Dark Ages stuff is if you want to play a tabletop anything with low magic, it's usually Dark Ages,
Mm.
and it's often a game where you know how in D&D every second town guard is just running around in chainmail.
Yes.
Yeah, the Dark Ages takes a bit more. Even the fancy stuff takes this more like realistic approach where actually most people couldn't really afford armor. Maybe a
Yeah.
shield, a helmet. So armor's kind of a rarity in the game, and I quite like it, especially in Call of Cthulhu, where it's the one game people acknowledge you die all the time, or you
Yeah.
go mad all the time. And I think it's a really cool way to handle it because usually it's a 40s pulp thing, and that works, but
Mm.
it's just a different setting for Cthulhu, and it just adds more Dark Ages stuff. Um, it's a proper setting guide with all the rules and bits thrown in, which I really like.
Mm.
Uh, have a look. But languages as well are also really interesting because it's again most tabletop games they expect your character to be able to read and write, which from a modern understanding
It was
makes
not
perfect
often.
sense.
Yeah.
But because this is you know paying lip service to the historical accuracy of it, no, you you don't begin knowledge with actual writing.
Mm. Sorry, are
You
you
might be
with
able to,
are you with are you with the church? No, then you don't know how to write.
yeah, it is literally like that. Yeah, and I think that's really cool because it puts um also puts limitations on characters that are it's good to the setting and
Yeah.
actually have challenge. So
I
you
I
can't,
can imagine the
roleplay knowing
situation is
stuff
like,
so you don't
you
read.
find a dusty old tome. Oh, what does it say? You can't read. Oh yeah.
It's a tome. It's a book. You can't read. It's also got a system of magic, but it's not like fantasy magic.
Hmm.
It's half like magic of belief. It's literally half like faith rather
Ah.
than
Hmm.
that. And rather than doing anything absolutely crazy, it's more like have a look. It's more like ritual based and sort of pagan styles. It's not like
Yeah.
you wave your hands around and throw fireballs everywhere. I quite like it.
You sort of sacrifice a
Or like
chicken and
charms
maybe do
and
a thing.
yeah, there's superstitious like medicine that some people believe is magic.
Yeah.
They have a whole section just on the setting alone. I think it's cool. I think it's a fantastic little book,
Amazing.
and yeah, and it also treats like your adventurers as weirdos. Because like a lot of because imagine like just next week you could go to another city and people will be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Hmm.
But again, another Dark Ages thing is if you went to a different village and you clearly had a different dialect, you're
Yeah.
a weirdo. You're a
Yeah.
foreigner.
You don't like take kindly to your kind down here. I'm literally just from Yorkshire. Yeah, well, this is Ipswich, so you can fuck off. All right.
Different baron though. You
Yeah.
got a different lord.
Uh,
It must be foreign to me. I really like this book. Um, it doesn't have a massive monster manual, but it does fall down a little bit.
hmm.
But again, with Call of Cthulhu, there's a lot of leeway to make stuff up,
Yeah.
and I don't really see a problem with that. I just think it's for again like for Call of Cthulhu, well, it's a unique setting. You don't see played a lot. I'm a big fan.
Mm.
I'd like to learn how to read the. I want to learn how to read the rules properly on it, and then actually maybe play something in it. Um, what you got this week?
I'll have to go and get it, but I have got something. I'll have to go get it though. I'll be back in a second. Just play some smooth
Right.
jazz while I'm.
Oh, how about Left Bank 2 from Smart? Just want my book back. And we're back.
So I'm fairly certain I haven't done a tabletop book club on this, but this is the Mythology Library, Celtic Mythology, the myths and legends of the Celtic world. It's not strictly
Oh,
a tabletop book, but it's an A to Z of mystical figures of the Celtic world, over 185
oh,
alphabetical entries describing the central mythical figures of each culture, with copious cross references, superb pictorial spreads on the mythical themes and symbols, beautifully illustrated art. Huh. I got this from my college library. Basically, I think they were getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and they asked me, it's like, hey, you like history and stuff? Like, yes. You like weird mythology stuff? Yes. You
it's
want
a
this
book.
book? It's like, sure. Why? Well, we're getting rid of them. Otherwise, they'd be
Mhm.
just thrown in the bin. It's like, ooh, yes, I'll have a
Yeah.
funny book with some Renaissance kind of art to it and some cool castles.
See, that sounds like a really cool book.
Yeah.
You definitely done it, and you don't know what to spoil it. I've done something Celtic this week as well. Carry
Ooh.
on though.
So this was originally published in 1997. This is the 2002 version. Oh, it's a good double-page spread of some cool Renaissance art. Very fancy. There's a quick introduction section, a nice little map of the Celtic Europe, including Cork and Dyred and Gaul.
Right.
Picture of somebody with a kopesh. Well, that might mean more like it's just a standard scythe, actually. Hand scythe.
Okay.
Who's this guy? This guy is. Who's this guy? Um, is this no? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Is that him? Ah,
I mean, the only
uh, uh,
Celtic
I'm
stuff I know is either Gaelic Scottish or
So
Cuchulainn
yeah,
stuff.
so there's a bloke here. I said there's a bloke. There's a bloke here in this picture called
There's a fella.
Amergin, sometimes known as Amagin, one of the first Irish druids, ancient priests in Celtic lands. He came to Ireland with the Milesians. Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
was this? Is this about the? Is it the five peoples of Ireland?
I think so.
Anyway,
He was the leader of the Celts who
I
lived
do
in
know about that a little
Spain,
bit.
believed to be the ancestors of the present day Irish, having defeated the divine rulers of Ireland, the Tuatha De Danann. The Milesians
Yep.
could not agree on which of their leaders should be king. Interesting. Two sons, Eramon and Eber, contested the throne. One in the north, one in the south. Where peace was not to survive for long. Renewed fighting between the two followers. The two brothers plunged the country into dreadful strife. It's weird, isn't it? Why is it that Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland can never seem to get on, even historically?
Yeah, some things are older than we know.
Yeah. There's Anu, mother goddess of Irish mythology, not to be confused with
Huh?
Anubis. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of lovely things. Let's go to the D's.
Does it mention Fomorians?
Dylan.
I can reckon it
There's
will.
just Dylan. Dylan, son of the wave, was a
Who's
Welsh
Dylan?
sea god. Oh, Dylan the sea god.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Dylan leapt from his mother's
Look
arms
him
at
up.
birth and plunged straight to the sea and swam like a fish. Beloved by the sea, all the waves wept when he was killed, and his death crow could still be heard in the roar of the incoming
Dylan ailed
tide.
on, right?
Yeah.
That's Welsh.
Yeah, he's Welsh, yeah. Arian, his parents were Arian Narod and a brother Gwyndian. Of course, gods being incestuous as always.
That's a myth for you.
Yep. As soon as he was born, he headed straight to the sea, where he swam like as well as a fish. When his uncle, the smith god Govanon, killed him, all the waves of Britain and Ireland lamented his death, and that's why I guess the English waves sound like they do. Oh no! Wait a minute! Hold on a minute! I've got to go back to B. There's somebody here called
Oh.
Brian the Blessed. Wait a
Oh,
wait a minute.
you sound like a saint.
Uh,
This is how they do it.
Brian, one of the three sons of Turian. Wow.
Nope, I was way off.
What the fuck?
What did you get
Father of the
blessed?
god Lu. When Lu sent Sion to summon the warriors of the Tuatha De Danann to battle, Brian and his brothers Luchar and Luchaba killed him on his journey. To atone for this act of murder, given by Lu 8 tasks to perform. Wow. That's a shame that Brian the
That's a very
Blessed doesn't
mythological
really
way
seem
to
to
solve
have a
problems.
massive. Doesn't seem to have a massive a massive part of the story. That's disappointing. I wanted to hear about Brian Blessed. Sorry, Brian the Blessed.
Maybe it's Brian the Blessed.
Yeah. Where was I? Where?
That's a really interesting book you've chosen for my homebrew of the week. Actually, almost a little too perfect.
What a
Um,
strange situation. Right, where's? Ah, yeah, here we go. There we go. So where's Brian? Ah, yeah. So Efnisian, he's the half brother of Brian the Blessed, who caused the rift between Bran and King Mathawich. So it's a shame that they have this like italicized name, Brian the Blessed, and there's so little information about him. I want to know about Brian the Blessed and his escapades. Why is
Maybe
he
it's-
called the Blessed? And
was
does
he made a patron saint later?
Maybe. Who
So
bloody
that's
knows?
usually that kind of happens.
Yeah.
Religions like to adopt other stuff.
Anyway, yeah, that's this book. I won't go into too much detail on it because there's a lot
I
here.
need to get
It's
me more books
literally,
like this.
it's basically a dictionary of Celtic myth, effectively.
I need to get me more books like that because that's absolutely my jam that I'd read for fun.
Rihanna's in
Um,
here. Sorry, Rhiannon. the daughter of Heriard.
Yes, that's the old spelling.
Yeah. Chieftain of Diveton, all Rhiannon's trouble stemmed from her rejection of Gwawl, the man to whom she had been promised, and as a result, his enraged father put a spell on Pewell's household. Right? Because of this curse,
Right.
Rhiannon suffered years of barrenness, and after the birth of his son, she was unjustly accused of eating the baby. What is it with gods and pantheons of blinking eating babies? Even after the boy
God's got to
had
do what
been
a God's
restored
got
and
to
grown
do.
up, the spell continued to dog her. At one stage, she and Pierdere were changed to donkeys, so she became a donkey for a bit. The singing of her birds
Oh,
was said to be
okay.
able to wake the dead and send the living to sleep. Oh, that's lovely, I think, question mark.
Okay. That's a
Uh,
very mythological way to solve problems.
hang on a minute, let's have a snack of this child real quick.
Anyway, this baby
Oh,
intended for a
Brian's
donkey.
back! Hang on a
Okay.
minute. There's the family of
Oh,
Pewell and the
great.
children of Lur.
Very
But
glad.
except here he's spelt Bran the Blessed. Where's the icon in Brian? Apparently he was a
Maybe it's a
giant.
separate guy.
Yeah, he's a giant and the owner of a magic cauldron. Apparently.
Makes sense. I'm not gonna. It's a myth. He could have like been the son of a goat, and I'd be like, yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Oh, my days. Anyway, all this
Aren't they all?
Uther Pendragon was Arthur's father. There we
Oh
go.
yes.
Uther was able
It's
to
a
sleep with
Welsh name, allegedly, isn't it?
yeah, he was able to sleep with a migraine because he was disguised as a husband. Sorry, with Ugraine. Oh, sorry, Igraine is the person's name, not migraine.
Brian, yeah.
Yeah, the actual
Okay.
myth of the Arthurian legend is a lot weirder than the
Yes,
movies.
I think it was a Welsh originally as well. So it's kind
Yeah.
of got a weird lineage.
Anyway, that's this book. I don't know how much it is or anything like that. Apparently, because I got it for
2002, so it
free.
might be a bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a rare or expensive book. Actually, let's just look this. I won't look it up. Answer in a postcard below. That's your homework for this week. Those that are watching or listening to the podcast, let me know. Let me know if this is even available anymore on any site whatsoever. Right.
That sounds right. I
What's
would probably
next?
like this book.
Yes. Critical fumble of the week. What we got?
Critical fumble. What?
It's been a few weeks. There's a lot
Um,
to choose from.
it's just yeah, that enough. You almost don't want to be negative this week a day.
Hmm.
Um, although, wizards have been really quiet lately and getting suspicious. Are they planning something? Um, there is always what's going on with the local elections,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
going.
That's
Labour lost. To be fair, they were going to lose a lot of seats.
Well, the thing is that
Uh,
they lost some local council seats, but they still have a lot of councillors, and they
yeah,
still have the
I mean
most
they were going
amount of councillors by a
to.
lot. But yeah, they've lost a lot of And to be fair, I think it's mostly the Conservatives that have lost council seats to Reform in a move that has kind of
Yep.
surprised nobody. Like, yeah, nobody likes the
Yeah,
Conservatives anymore. Shock
I
horror.
don't know. It's any of them anymore, but some of them are
Yeah,
newer than the other ones. So
yeah.
pick your poison. Um. Oh, that reminds me actually. Um. I'm going to put this one to the Birmingham City Council because I what must say the signs that the crowd had at this year's Great Birmingham Run were very very good this year.
Uh huh.
Amongst them was one that was so one of them was Hot Girls Do Half Marathons. That's funny. One was May the Course Be With You. Very cheesy, very good.
Nice, nice.
But more importantly, one was The Rats Don't Run This One. Getting topical. Uh, this is in reference to if those that aren't aware, in Birmingham, for some reason, there's still a big dispute going on between the bin men and the city council basically cut their pay by a few £1,000 a year.
And cut their hours
They've
as well,
decided
I
to
think. Yeah.
go on strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're on strike,
You,
and
you,
it's been what, we're going into 6 weeks now, aren't we?
you know what we need? You know what we need? We need Count Binface to come down and set the council straight.
No, we kind of do.
Count
He's the
Binface
man
is
we
the
need.
hero we need, but not the no. He's not the hero we need. He's the hero we deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna put on city council because even people supporting people at charity runs are now mocking them openly in the streets, and I guess there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic, and I love it. Oh.
What you found that you don't get anything up this last few
So
weeks, or
yes, so my critical fumble is also
Whoa.
quite a positive one because it's a critical
Hey.
fumble that I'm glad has happened. As we all know,
Huh?
Oblivion Remastered has come out, and some of the glitches have been
Yes.
left in intentionally.
Oh, that's good. That's very good news.
One of my favourite things that has been left in is, of course, the classic armor glitch where you can summon bound armor, have it get damaged, repair it with a repair hammer, and it won't drop it on the floor, wait for the spell to wear off, and then just pick it back up again. And it won't despawn.
Oh,
And you get to keep it, which is lovely. It works on
why did I
any
never
piece.
try this?
It works on any piece of bound equipment. It is a bit. I think it is quite a long stage process, and it can be a bit annoying to wait it out. I think it mostly it's easy to do with art weapons. I think because you could break them yourself really easily just by hitting stuff.
Right.
But getting hit, obviously, and waiting for your armor to break without you dying first is a bit more difficult, especially at lower level. But yeah, they've left that in. They have patched the duplication glitches, which is good because those were game breaking, if we're really honest. I don't think they patched the. I don't know which other ones haven't patched it, but they have left in the infamous bad line read, where someone broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion barracks, and the temple all in one night. No, wait, let me do that again. That classic line, if you remember that one. Where
Yep.
she reads her line twice.
One.
That I love. Because, of course, we know I think they redid all the voice acting. So they had to ask somebody to do that line read badly. They had to ask them to. No, you've got to do it this specific way. You've got to read it twice. Okay.
Well, the original had 5 voice actors.
Yes.
Like that.
There's now significantly more. And
the industry's come on a bit.
Yeah, there's a few different faces among the guards as well as voices amongst the standard guards, which is nice. All very British, which is very good.
The thing I found with Oblivion is that everyone sounds middle class all the time. Well, not upper class,
the beggars,
always
even the beggars.
Middle class.
Like, spare a few coins to feed me family. I can get a new pair of shoes.
Spare a coin for a beggar.
Yeah.
Not the voice expect, but
yeah. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm watching Vinny play it, and I'm watching Nurbit play it as well. Like, yes, very
everyone's
good.
playing it right now. Crichton's doing it. Joel's playing it.
I need to watch Joel's run. I need to watch Joel's run, definitely. But it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, his is ridiculous.
It's this perfect blend of actually definitely remastering something, but keeping in some of the things, even the glitches that gave the game its charm in the first place. Including, I think Vinny discovered a few new glitches, which is great.
Oh, he would, wouldn't he?
It's like, yeah,
he would.
It's just amazing.
Oh.
But yeah, that's my critical fumble of the week. Just thanks, Oblivion. Never change. Always be your beautiful.
Don't improve yourself ever.
Self.
Stay weird.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess homebrew of the week. Don't know why I dragged that E. Which doesn't.
You're experimenting with your range.
Yes, which actually, this segues perfectly because my homebrew of the week is Oblivion themed.
Hey,
So we've got
that's cool.
we've got
Did a whole
we've got
carry on,
curses from Cyrodiil. A few
right?
different curses because I haven't done any curses yet, and I wanted to do some. So our first curse is I don't know you, and I don't care to know you. Creatures afflicted by this curse find themselves unable to initiate meaningful dialogue with others. Other sentient beings will simply say, I don't know you, and I don't care to know you, and then ignore them, only replying with the same phrase if spoken to again. It's like not even like that bad of a curse,
They've been
but it's
better.
just very, very funny.
How are you?
I don't know you, and I don't care to know you. Ah,
I've
very
been
well.
better.
I've been better. Goodbye. I heard I heard the Fighters Guild in Cheatham is hiring new fighters. Well,
It's great
that's
when the Fighters Guild says that.
yeah, yeah. And then the response is something like, "Oh, I don't care to talk about that." Okay.
Oh,
Our,
hi.
and our next one is dead but not quite. A creature affected by this
Oh,
curse acts normally until they are downed. Once downed, but passing their death saves or healed, they remain prone.
I know
They
this is
cannot
this.
move or attack, but they can talk. This effect, but not the curse, ends if they're able to interact with a bed or a door. Basically, kind of inspired by that one glitch where you kill someone, but their mouth keeps moving, and you can initiate dialogue with them as if they're still alive, and they can kind of like walk. They can kind of like slide around as if they're moving. That only seems to fix when they interact with a door or a bed for some reason. I think it.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to be the one where if you modify the size of something with the actual in-game code, and then you kill them, they get all spindly.
Oh no! So apparently, this glitch actually happened to Vinny in his remastered run. One of the assassins, even though they were dead, his mouth was still moving. I think he could still talk to them. They would just give like the standard
Oh, that's
dialogue. It's like,
fun.
really, it's like the emperor's been murdered in his own castle. It's like, aren't you supposed to be
Oh,
dead? Our next
but
curse is
aren't they the assassins that wanted?
yeah, yeah. It's like, wait a
What?
minute. Also, he's not even dead yet. Our next curse is Wrong
Why are the
Warp.
assassins? I'm very confused.
Yeah, so we've got Wrong
Oblivion never
Warp.
changed.
A creature affected by this curse must
Yep.
make a Charisma save, DC 10, so not hard, every time they move at full
Yep.
speed towards a door or entrance that connects "quote unquote" the outside world to another location, such as a door into a building, an arch of trees leading to a forest, etc., etc., etc. You know the usual. Basically, anything that would be considered a "quote unquote" loading zone. On a failed save,
Right.
they instead wind up in the wrong location. I've left it intentionally vague. Somewhere else in the this could be
Hey.
somewhere else in the dungeon, the void, a different place in the region entirely, such as another town or whatever, or out of bounds location that should be "quote unquote" impossible to access normally. Because wrong warps can absolutely
Okay.
happen in Oblivion. I think the most famous one is if you play that Arcane Tower DLC, then uninstall the
Yeah.
DLC, you can get teleported to the testing area.
Oh,
Mm.
I did not know that.
So I just imagine one of the PCs like, oh, make a Christmas save. Okay. Oh, you passed. What happens? Nothing. Okay. A few hours later. Oh, you're going to that house? Yeah. Make a Christmas save. Oh, I only got nat one. Oh, okay. You're in a house, but your friends aren't with you. What? It's also not the same house. What do you mean it's not the same house? Okay, I leave. Okay. I'll let make a save this time. You're in a different town. What do you mean I'm in a different town? Yeah, you're in a different town. Oh. And then our last curse is the willingly unwilling follower.
Oh, okay.
A creature affected by this curse seems to often be followed by an enemy. When the cursed creature assaults or ends the charm of a non-hostile, non-player creature, that creature will become hostile to them, constantly attack them, and follow them to the ends of the earth. They also, strangely, become immortal while this effect is ongoing, becoming unconscious instead of dying when they drop to 0 hit points by any means. This is inspired by a very particularly weird glitch where, what's his name? That guy from the Mythic Dawn that you fight as a boss. What's his name? Not Umbacano.
Not really Dagon.
No, what's his name? But that guy. If you sequence break the main quest, yeah, if you sequence break the main quest in exactly the right way, he will just chase after you. He will just teleport in every so often and try to fight you. You can kill him, but he will always come back. You can keep doing it over and over again, and it won't progress the main quest either. But you can keep picking up copies of, I think it's volume 4 of the book, which is it's really stupid. And also inspired,
very silly.
Also inspired by that one bug again, where you can take the Emperor with you if you kill the assassin that's going to kill him by going out of bounds. Before he kills the Emperor, the Emperor will not die, and then you can leave the sewers by again sequence breaking, then come back later. I forget how, but you can get like a command person spell from the Imperial City, charm the Emperor so he follows you, leave again. Oh yeah, so you do a save, you do a game save warp, so you can have a game save on a different character. Somehow by loading that one up or something in the correct way, you can basically teleport your other character back into the sewers. So then you charm the Emperor, and then you have him go into the Imperial City. And then when the charm spell ends, because it was command person, the Emperor just attacks you.
Oh, okay.
And because technically you're a non-hostile innocent combatant, the guard will see that the Emperor is attacking you and proceed to attack him. The most cursed thing ever.
Okay.
So that's what that curse was inspired by. But yes, that's a page worth of really stupid but funny and actually decent curses inspired by Oblivion. Because we need more interesting curses.
That's fun.
So what do you have this
week? I wanted a whole dungeon based on the right. Okay, so it's kind of more of a small monster manual than a thing. Nice. I'll just pick out some choice bits. I remember telling you about that game of Thursday.
Huh? Sorry. La what?
Nope. Remember telling you on Thursday about that game Atlantis 2.
Oh yes, Atlantis 2. Yes.
Yes. Basically, it's a strange point-and-click adventure game. A little bit artsy fast. There's a really cool level set in, I want to say, medieval Ireland. There's a monk, and it's got some really chill music. I kind of love it. And it inspired me to attempt something Dark Ages vaguely related. So I thought, what's vaguely fey and pagan-y? Wood elves. So I've got, it's 31 pages worth of monster manual about Dark Age Wood Elves in a sort of low magic-esque way.
Nice.
Starting from like peasants, they're peasants, and that must be interesting, to druids that aren't really druids yet, and the ones I'll pick out a couple. So first got not people, but wolfhounds.
Mm-hmm.
which are based on the we've actually got real Irish wolfhounds because because most people love doggies, and
Doggos,
they're just
puppers.
big dogs that you can sometimes bring to war. They're CR1, 26 hit
Yeah.
point, hit a little bit like a truck, and their main feature, which is quite cool, is so basically you assign a friendly creature to be its owner.
Uh-huh.
While the dog's within 20 feet of its owner, it's basically has advantage on Wiz and Charisma saves. And if its owner is killed, or the hound is killed,
Mm-hmm.
the, whichever one is left gets advantage on the attack rolls against the thing that killed the other one. And they're
Aww.
going to being charmed and frightened.
Hmm.
You killed someone's dog and they're not very happy about it. I think that'd be a really thematic way to handle that.
Yeah.
So that way you can make even a group of peasants be threatening because they have a big dog with them.
Hmm.
Um, the other one I pick up on is there's a few. The low glass. So I looked at a bit of history in my YouTube recommended, sent me some history stuff. It was quite cool. Basically, the Gallo glass were based on a real group of people, or a real. So basically, they were early mercenaries before it was really a professional thing.
Mm-hmm.
Literally means foreign warriors. So basically, they were Northern Highland warriors, um, and they would. So before there was like something called like standing armies, a it's a settlement or lord could hire them to basically be a professional soldier for them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't typically hire a company of them once. So unlike the average soldier who might be not okay, they might have a few good soldiers, but really they don't really have much armor. Maybe shield, spear, maybe a knife,
Yeah.
or a hand axe and a helmet. These guys had actual shirts of chainmail and very large two-handed weapons,
Hmm.
early firearms, but didn't go quite that far down the line because it was the Dark Age.
Yeah.
So they're all wood elves. So basically, these are like the if you're rich enough to hire them, they're the best thing you're going to have to an army. 54 hit points, chainmail, weighing in ZR3, so sort of like the knight profile.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they function very much like knights. 200 weapon, and to make it a little more interesting, I've also so they have equipment options. So I like my alternative equipment options. So they have a great axe as standard. They can either swap it for a great sword or uh, have a longbow and arrows in addition to it. Because some
Yeah.
of the reference images I used showed them having both for some reason. So they must have done it at least once,
Hmm.
maybe, and it wasn't there at the time. Um, also done a bit for so rather than do a whole separate profile for like their like upgraded versions,
Mm-hmm.
I've sort of done it as stat changes and traits. So their captains have basically a command aura and have a bonus action where they can choose a friendly target within 60 feet they can see. Uh, and say you can dash and as a bonus action, so basically they can give some sort of order.
Mm.
Uh, the other one, probably worth mentioning, is let's have a looky. Back to the table of contents. Yes, there we are. The druids and nobles. Where are we at? Nope, that's the druid novice. I put some time into this, and I sort of looked at it and went, "This is almost a book." There's, there's the kerns. Yeah, I was only looking up like actual Gaelic terms for this
Oh
as
wow.
well, so it's sort of it's a bit- it's not. I'm
Hmm.
sure things wrong. Well, Gaelic and Irish and early Scottish stuff into one thematic sort of monster manual. It's a
Nice.
lot of fun with it. So like so these ones are actual druids that coming in at CR2. Because it's low magic, but I didn't want it to be no magic because then it's not really as interesting fantasy. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense. Um, so the druids are basically like the hedgehogs, but they have a distance of 3d8 more hit points, two level 1 spell slots on top of it, and two additional level 2 spell slots and level 3 spell slots. So they're quite nasty.
Mm.
Cool little trait, touch of the Feywild. Basically, they can cast Animal Friendship and speak with plants at will, no components. All behind them is anyone that knows druidic magic isn't okay. So they're welcomed in Wood Elf society, but they're not necessarily liked
Mm.
because in order to become more druidy, you have to sort of grow so close to non-humans that you sort of become strange to them. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So they are seen as useful and liked because they literally talk to the earth, but they're also treated differently because they talk to the earth.
Yeah. So these
Um,
guys are all right, but they're a bit
so
weird.
that's they are literally a bit weird. And here's the thing as well: nobles, they're rich, they have nice, lovely clothing, but what I wanted to mess about with was the Gallo Glass coming at CR3. The
Oh.
nobles are actually a CR2. You know, like a lot of monster manuals, the most powerful things are like a king would have like a really high CR for
Mm.
mechanical reasons. I wanted to mess about with this a little bit and say, well, why is the noble the strongest guy there?
Yeah.
Why is he hiring these like big armored warrior men if he doesn't actually need them? Then I mean the CR2 coming in at what 29 hit points. They have access to chain shirt, so they're not without option. It's just they're not particularly known for fighting by themselves.
Yeah.
Um, Although I've left it quite open. Um, so basically, skill wise, they either have deception or persuasion in addition to their standard stuff.
Ooh.
Um, and it affects how they work. So if they have the deception skill, uh, all friendly creatures within 30 feet of them deal 2 additional damage to all their attacks with
Mm.
a crowd. Say something about their enemies might not be true, but it sounds bad. Or have the persuasion skill, same radius, immunity to charmed and frightened condition. It depends what kind of noble you want them to be.
Yeah.
Um, and they also have a druidic bloodline, so they have access to 3 cantrips, 4 level 1 slots, and 2 level 2 slots. So I wanted to have a bit of like a custom kit kind of profile for the nobles, so it
Mm.
wasn't just one blank slate. There's a few options you can take with them.
Yeah. Make it a
Uh,
bit more modular rather
Also
than
for role.
bland.
Oh yeah, yeah. Also for role play purposes, not every noble's gonna. Actually, I imagine if you play it right, nobles hate each other, so they're
Yeah.
not gonna get on. They're not terrible at fighting. They have a broadsword. They have a. It's called a Seax, Seax. It's basically a long knife, but
Ooh.
I like the historical term, so I'll throw that in. They do have some options, not particularly selling ones, but they can have a shield and spear. I initially did I've been experimenting with this thing where I do profiles. In This is the minimum equipment they use, and then the rest is added on as an optional bit.
Mm.
It's just that this is what the noble wears when he's not at war.
Yeah.
The rest is all optional. But this modular approach is quite a little experiment. Fun little experiment. I'll put it all up. I won't
Excellent.
bore you with the other 24 pages worth. But I just went crazy about wood elves for a bit and wrote some Celtic/Gaelic wood elf lore and had some fun with it. So I'll drop it all in for if you want to run some low fantasy games.
Nice. That will all be available in the Discord, folks. Join it via
Well,
the
you know
Twitch.
what? I'll do it now. Carry on.
Yeah. So thank you for that. That's really cool. And that and all other homebrews, including, of course, the silly Cyrodiilic curses, will be available in the homebrews channel of that bit.
Mhm.
And yep, so don't forget to do that. And while you're at it, like, follow the Twitch channel because that we stream all of our podcasts before we upload them to YouTube. So if you want to see a podcast live and maybe ask a question, go there. And
Oh, yep.
yeah,
Ask us anything. We handle some silly subjects and some serious stuff.
yes,
We're better at silly.
yeah. Don't ask us why the rum is gone.
I drank it.
You burnt all the food, you burnt all the shade, you burnt all the rum. The rum is gone. Why is the rum gone?
No, that's
Anyway,
2000.
that's
Your
yeah,
2008, right there.
yeah. There you go. That's a screenshot. Talking of screenshots back into the past, do you have any? Have you listening to any weird music lately that would be good in tabletop stuff?
You know, I actually have. Um, you know what? Yes, there's one piece of music I will bring up because I absolutely love it and it's weird and super super cool. I don't. I might have brought it up but never mentioned it, and it's one of those songs with a really strange title. You know, Soul. I've definitely talked about Soul Reaver at some point because the
Yes.
soundtrack's good. But there's a song on there on that soundtrack which has a very strange name, which I'm going to look up now because it's one of those words that definitely is not a word. It's if like a fantasy word.
Yeah.
Found it. So the song is called Ozar Midrashim.
Hmm.
If it is Arabic, I apologize. I've never seen that word anywhere else. It is like the opening song of the game, and it's very, very cool. It's got a, how do I describe it? Almost tribal drums with kind of like a choir going ah, but very synthesized.
Ah,
Synthesized
yes.
ah choir, I guess. It's got that epic feel to it, but it hit this brilliant mark of it's almost depressing, but not really.
Hmm.
Like it's on the verge of like implying depressing because it's a game set in the end of a fantasy world. It's not a happy sounding thing, but it sounds epic and mysterious, very cool. Um, it's great narrating over, especially if you run a strange setting which is more primitive where society's broken down. I think it's kind of a perfect little track.
Hmm.
Where another one, a bit more upbeat, is just you mentioned Echo the Dolphin as well. Um, there's a track in there that I'm going to name because it is just that good. Um, let's have a look. Defender of the Future. Let's just find it. No, not the whole thing. I think it's. I'll double check. I believe it's called Hanging Waters.
Hmm.
I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, it's just called Hanging Waters. It's a cool 2 minutes 30 long. Um, it's one of those tracks that I think you could play it in an aquarium and you could totally fool me. But it just, oh, no, it just feels really, really chill. And it's, yeah, I think those two should suffice, depending what you want it for. If you want underwater in general, Echo the Dolphin, you can't go too wrong. But
Hmm.
Ozark's just a, I think a very underrated piece of music. Um, I do think needs more love, especially since the game had a remaster. And some people, younger than me, actually bothered to play it again. Um, you got anything you've been listening to lately?
So again, I'm gonna gush over it again, but I want to talk about Oblivion again because again the remaster because
Hey,
the theme song for Oblivion was already good, but the remaster
it is
version of
good.
the theme is just it is just nut worthy. It's like, oh, this is amazing. Coupled with the title screen imagery that's now much more updated with the fire and the Oblivion Gate in the background, it's a lot better, I think, than the original map. Although I do have a soft spot for the map intro background because I do actually have the map of Cyrodiil in my display case
Oh, that's cool.
from the special edition. It's where my little like D&D themed Lego diorama is with two light towers and stuff, my figures and things. But yeah, the theme for that, I feel like I should start playing that theme on a Bluetooth speaker before we do D&D sessions, because it really does immerse you in like fantasy RPG land, because you're immediately ready to start
Yeah.
going into ancient tombs and smacking up people holding the sword of Umbra. Really has that vibe to it. It's so funny actually that a game that is so like whimsical and cursed as Oblivion has just the most amazing theme out there. But yeah, I do like that music
I'm
a
following.
lot. So, any closing thoughts before we finish up? Sorry, we're talking a lot about Oblivion today. You can tell I'm
No,
excited.
just don't want to.
I love Oblivion so
It's
much.
it is still fresh again. It's fine.
Yeah.
There is actually. I have an idea. A thought has formed.
Oh.
We could do a for future homebrews of the week.
Mhm.
We could do a one-word theme and just adapt it.
Yeah.
You could
Also,
just
next,
just wanna
yeah,
think.
one of the
Probably the
weeks
best way to handle it.
actually, as well. I'd have to play it at Gate Retreat, and I could maybe stream it at Gate Retreat. Oblivion Remastered is on Game Pass.
Ooh,
Yeah.
to make the most cursed character possible. Like wide face, concave face.
No, we need to make snip snip.
Rio's that the other day, Drake Lord, Rio Snip Snip.
Yeah, snip snip. Uh,
I know that's my closing thoughts. She'll need to eat something.
one word
Yeah.
homebrew. I guess prompts. I guess. Yeah. So if you pop it in the if you pop it in the
Thursday
Discord,
anyway,
yeah.
whatever it is.
Yes.
So up in the Discord, what we could do, we could pick three single words at random,
Hmm.
or words that might make for interest, or basically homebrew that has room for being interpreted differently depending on
Yeah.
who's writing it. We'd be putting three each, put it on a wheel. We can do a short, um, do you could one of us do a short video before the actual Sunday, uh, for whichever one it's gonna be. Then we
Hmm.
get to work on it.
Interesting. Interesting. I like the idea. I like the concept. I guess you could just
That way, we don't
report it
have to
in
top
the
it up
we
every
could just like
few weeks.
report it in the Discord of which one won the wheel
Yeah,
spinning. Just
a
post
YouTube
like the
short.
clip. Yeah, in the thing. Yeah, it would work. Okay. That's a really good closing thought.
Yeah,
My closing
that's
thought
it.
is very unrelated. Turns out that Diam Cadbury chocolate is amazing, and I might be addicted
Oh
to it.
yeah.
Not like in a weird, not like in a medically
Oh,
addicted way, but like it is good. It is so good. It's like
stick
it's possibly
to
the
it.
best like not
That's a good review.
standard Cadbury chocolate I've ever had. It's like because you get the softness of like the standard dairy milk, but you get this like caramel toffee crunch in the Diam. It's like yes, that is what I need. Give me more of that. Because it's not so crunchy that it hurts your teeth. It's just a nice amount of crunch, a nice amount of texture and flavors. And give. And that's it. So,
You can't get better review than that. It's
yeah,
addictive chocolate.
yeah.
It is that good. I'll see you all next week, I think.
We'll see
Any
you all
luck.
next week. Remember, same goose time, same goose channel. I don't actually remember how the rest of the theme goes from this point. See you guys soon.
With
Next
all
week
one
we
note.
might actually
Lots of
have
one
the
note.
intro and the outro. Bye.